So when you try to hide, you take the hide action. Is there any reason why all the other stuff needed to be in there? So, and then the hide action is going to be described later on, right? Okay, so here we're going to get into the spots where Taron's layout critique is going to really start to come through. Someone set me a timer, right? What do we got? 10, 11? Let's see if it takes me a minute. Put in your fucking cross-references. Wizards, you're the... Do this! Put in proper cross-references. Why does this not have a page number? That is so easy to do. Like, I do this all the time in InDesign. Give me a little page number. You have so much of the paragraph right here. You got plenty of space right here to use. A cross-reference is not hard to do. And it isn't the kind of thing that you have to keep continuously updating and updating and updating. InDesign does a really damn good job of following that for you. If you change the page number, it'll update the cross-references. Man, that irks me so bad about the way that they do layout. If we go back through here, and I start going in on like, okay, where do we need to call out the specifics of where they aren't doing the cross-referencing, I'm looking at actions, and I'm like, all of these, why are there not page numbers describing these actions right here? What? Why? Why? Attack, right? Attack action. 361. Okay, look at that. Now, this is called cross-referencing, okay? Now, what they could do is give you another column over here that specifically says where you can find that page, right? It would look so much better, and nobody would have to write this stuff in, and it's just giving you, saying like, here, you can find it in the rules glossary. This is a huge critique I have for the inaccessibility of Wizards of the Coast books. They could do this for you. They choose not to. I don't know why they try to make their books inaccessible like this. They just said one of the big reasons they were doing... What was it? This was a specific thing that they called out, though, in their press conference, so I'm going to actually hold them to this. They said one of the reasons they weren't doing class tables, like, on the first page was because their UI UX, like, consultants were telling them that it was overwhelming. So they apparently have some UI UX consultants that they said are helping them out with this book. The UI UX consultant telling them that that's the thing that was inaccessible and not the staggering amount of text that goes into their features is questionable at best. Look at how many inline subheaders we have here, and then metadata. Like, this one feature right here, I don't understand how that is supposed to fit here. I don't know how that's supposed to go here in the class features. If you say, okay, well here it's this class feature, it's over here in this page in the player's handbook, that's about the only way I think you can fit that information in there. You write like, Druid, second level, page 80. Cool, well there's where the feature is. And now they're flipping through the player's handbook at the table all the time. This is a big problem with what happens whenever you go with a very hyper-simulationist engine. D&D is a complicated game. It's continuing to get more and more complicated, more and more bloated. And the problem is, they are not working on their product development and their layout. They are not improving those in the same way with a focus for accessibility and usability here. The layout still feels like it's a bit behind, despite the fact that there are nice changes made to this book and the print production. I love the paper quality. I love the change for the body text. The body text not being Bookmania anymore, good change. Not that Bookmania is a bad font, just that I like the look of this font. I don't know, it feels crispier. There are changes they could be making to this to make this better. Some of the areas that I think maybe the text is a little bit redundant, I think you can figure that out in like, we're just going to sort through the info and disperse it a little bit more generously, right? We're going to disperse it in a way that's a bit more intuitive than just it being kind of all thrown at you, and then, oh shit, we bring up a new thing, now we have to bring up this old thing that we talked about before that new thing, because now new things apply to that old thing, right? What I mean by that is, looking at proficiency, saving throw proficiencies, right? So we talked about saving throw proficiency earlier on. and now we're having to reiterate what that means or how it applies later on over here. I think that this could have been resorted. I think, right? I also think that D20 tests right here, if you had talked about the 6 abilities before dice, right? Move the dice over. Now you're talking about D20 tests and dice together, not split apart with something in the middle of it. They said that a lot of this was focused on accessibility, but I don't see accessibility steps being taken. I don't see that they're focused on making this book the tool it needs to be to play this complicated game. And this is just looking at literally just motherfucking chapter 1 here, you know? Because now we have different references to other, like, we have other parts in the book that we needed to be talking about, right? Tell me where I can find this. Tell me the exact page, not chapter 6. Chapter 6 for the full rules on items and useful adventures. Maybe because it's more general like that, it's fine that it's chapter 6. It's equipment. That's the equipment chapter. Gotcha. Cool with that. That's fine. Even still, maybe you could say 231. This is like not the egregious one. That is going to be where we can find the information for like the items and adventuring gear and all that other shit, right? Here, 368. That's going to be where we can find all the info for the hide action. Does Savage Attacker or Tavern Brawler work with Druid forms? Oh, we really haven't gotten there yet. As far as you can see, to them, accessibility amounts that we put in a glossary. It's fine to have a central hub where they can find that information, but even still, this central hub isn't really doing a whole lot if I still got to go hunt down the page where this info is. Let me do it real quick, right? That's the thing. Accessibility isn't something where it's look, all right. It's not a woke word, all right? This isn't some lib word that we're talking about here. Accessibility is just making this a better thing to use. Okay, we need better utility out of this book. And this is not excusable. This is so easy to do by people that don't have the kinds of funding that Wizards of the Coast does. Especially whenever we have things like redundant text coming up. I don't know, man. I'm like, so some people are going to think that this is fine. To me, I expect more. I don't want to spend all of this, like, doing this, but just to kind of, like, illustrate the point, the rules glossary defines these following special senses. List the motherfucking page. Put a comma next to it, or put it in parentheses, what page it can be found on. I know that they're hiring a product architect. They're hiring a product architect to help them build out what these books are supposed to look like. They've got my resume, by the way. Blind Sight, 361. Dark Vision. Tremor Sense, 377. True Sight, page 377. That's it. Okay, so there's that right there. You can pin that in, right? But you know what looks a lot better is whenever you just have these actually cross-referenced using the same font, using a specific paragraph style. In PDFs, this is so good. I'll show you. You want to know how fucking easy this is? Here you go. Here's my game, Vagabond, right? Look, here's a cross-reference right here. This is a PDF, and because it's an interactive PDF, you know what's going to happen if I fucking click this thing? It's going to take me to the page that describes what happens with that, right? One of the other things I can do with this is if I click these chapter numbers, or these page, sorry, that's not actually on the screen. If I click this page number right here, it'll take me back to the table of contents. Thank you, Ked, for that suggestion right there. I thought that was pretty great, right? So if I click this table of contents right here, that'll take me right to ancestries. Ooh, if I have a certain question about maybe a certain rule that comes up that I see, okay, what is, let me find another cross-reference. Oh, weapons with the finesse property? What do you know, that's going to take me over here to the fucking finesse property. Yeah, this is not hard to do. Like, I'm telling you guys, if this looks like this is really complicated work, it's not. It is a basic function of Adobe InDesign. You want to see a really crazy example of this, actually? Hang on a second. Watch this. The motherfucker who has basically made TTRPG PDFs. Oh my god, yes. The guy who has turned these into something that is supposed to be an interactive experience right here. I'm going to show you guys. So this is what it looks like in print, right? This is Rot Black Sludge from Merkborg. Merkborg. Let's go over to Rot Black Sludge. You want to see the really cool thing that this does? Whenever you know how to really do cross-references, and you know how to do this interaction, watch this. Ooh, wait, what? Did that just turn into a little pointy clicky finger? Whenever I went over the map? Wait, what the fuck? What does that mean? Can I? Oh my god! This map functions as... Oh, what? Excuse me? This map tells me? It takes me to the page? Where these are... Guys, literally everybody else in the fucking industry is a decade ahead of Wizards of the Coast when it comes to their layout. When it comes to their actual accessibility, okay? Wizards is still way far behind on this shit. This is a basic thing that we do for accessibility in all of our books, and for the industry leader to not be doing basic fucking cross-referencing is inexcusable. This is so cake to do. It enhances your product's usability, and I don't know, like, I don't know really what more I can say about, like, if they brought in a UI UX specialist or an accessibility specialist. I don't know. I'd love to see their credentials, honestly. If it was somebody who was only looked at 5e materials and that's what they were going off of there, wow, how yeah. This bothers me. As a layout designer, guys, I know this might sound pedantic. This bothers me a lot. This makes your game less easy to run. And it bothers me that it's the fucking industry leader that is still refusing to do this. If you're ever wondering why it is that, like, if you look at the ENnies or, like, other, like, RPG awards and, like, the tabletop scene and you don't see Wizards of the Coast getting nominations, it's because of situations like this. Their books have accessibility issues. Whenever we talk about D&D being a more complicated game to run as a dungeon master, it's because of its bad UI UX. They said they brought in a UI UX expert. Did they say that they heeded their advice? Good question. I have no idea. Great chat agent for a bank for canned responses, and Wizards can't even put some effort for linking to an unreasonable way. Yeah, I think some of it might be that they don't think that they're prepping for PDF releases, which, like, WotC, just release it as a PDF. It's so stupid that you guys are this far behind. No, they're not cross-referencing. Well, they're doing so extremely slowly, right? Or extremely poorly is what I would say. Because see, like, right here, see Chapter 6 for a selection of mounts for sale? Where? Give me the page number. It'll update. You can update this! Guys, I showed you right here on stream! Like, oh my god. Well, I don't know that I showed you this exactly. I showed you that I did this in Vagabond. Guys, here you go. Let me show you how easy this is to do, okay? Alright, so I have the entire core rulebook I have open for Vagabond. We're gonna go over here. I want to show you guys how fucking easy this is, so that you know why I'm so frustrated about this. This is a huge thing that we do for accessibility whenever we're making a game. If we're making a game book, this is one of the easiest things you can do to instantly improve your reader's experience, okay? Let's say there's a thing that I have in classes, a specific, let's say, class feature. I need this to reference spells. Ooh, okay. You can cast spells using Arcana. Let's say I decide that I want to put in a cross-reference. I want it to refer to the section on magic. Cross-reference. Oh, no, wait, sorry, my bad. Right-click. Okay, interactive. Insert cross-reference. Now, I go to the document that has the area I want to go over to. Scroll up. I know what header it is. It's like header 1, maybe. I know spells. Sure, if I just wanted it to be spell list, that's the entire spell list right there. If I just want it to be the page number, boom, that right there. If I want it to be the full paragraph and the page number, right, spell list, that's where they can find it. Full paragraph, that's just the name of it right there, right? Paragraph text. Guys, this is so easy to do. I'm losing my mind because it makes their book take longer to flip through. This is one of the biggest complaints that people have about playing D&D 5e, is that it takes them too long to look for the rules in the rulebook. And part of it is because they refuse to use proper cross-referencing. They refuse to show you a fucking page number. It's so basic, and it's so frustrating that the industry leader is still not doing this. Whenever they're making all these talks about accessibility and everything, this is basics of layout accessibility right here. It's just baffling to me. I get passionate about this because like this is I love this hobby. It's frustrating to me that the industry leader for this hobby is not setting innovative standards. They're still a decade behind, and there are people who deserve the kind of success that Wizards of the Coast has had, infinitely more than that company. See why I said I'm the person that Wizards of the Coast does not want to review this thing? See why I said you all out there are you all want me to be the person to review this thing? It's because I know how to make everything in here. I know the guts of every single step that goes from this being a goddamn Google Doc into the book I'm holding in my hands right here. I know every step. Didn't I have the same issue with Daggerheart? Are you confusing things? No, wait, it had to do with formatting. How does this book do that so far? Oh, the problem that I had with Candela, actually, is that Candela kept grouping up like how it was showing you character options and made it so where you had to look in like 8 different places to make your character instead of just a single spread, right? And it was all like stuff that was coming from the same area. So if it was like your class in D&D, you had to look at like 8 different spots to find the things that went onto your character sheet for what your class was giving you. And I thought that was just bad layout. Yeah. It looked pretty, but like looking pretty just ain't enough, you know? These are, like, I'm just letting you guys know, these are really easy things that they could be doing. And they choose not to. And this system still refuses to be easier to run. They have made a system that is still more complicated for GMs.